Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, some pretty disturbing news today in one of my favorite cruise ports, Vancouver, Canada, as a tourist was beaten near the cruise port. We also had the results of the banned cruise ships from Juneau, Alaska are in, and let's talk about a family struggling to get a husband home because he fell injured on a cruise, and wait until you experience how much cost this one's going to be. So this one really irates me because it's in my home country. It's in a place that most people would feel safe and comfortable. When you think you're coming to Canada, you think you're pretty safe. Most cases you are. However, a woman was walking near the cruise terminal, a tourist in Vancouver, Canada, and she was assaulted. She's a 35-year-old woman, and she was attacked by a 40-year-old man. It appears they're complete strangers, had no interaction whatsoever from all accounts, where she was attacked brutally and punched and kicked, not only in the torso, but in the face as well, and rushed to hospital. People who were standing by intervened when the man ran off, but they caught him on camera and cell phone, showed the police, and with the help of a police dog, they tracked him down to a nearby residence area and arrested the man. I'm not even going to call him a gentleman, the man. Apparently, he's still into custody right now, and according to court records, he is also been charged with assault in, I think it's August of 2023, and since just then, he has appeared in our court system 13 times, not including this assault case. And yeah, it's good to know in Canada our court systems are doing so well. Yeah, I hope she recovers quickly, and I hope this guy never sees the light of day again. Okay, on with some little better news, maybe, for some people anyway. The vote is in from Juneau, Alaska, and voters have rejected. Over 60% said no to the ban on cruise ships of 250 passengers or more. That would be on Saturdays, plus the 4th of July. About 4,000 voters voted to have the ban, so there's about a 60-40 split here, a little more sided, 60, 63, 64 kind of thing, but it's been denied, and there will not be a ban as of now. That does not mean the fight is over. That does not mean that everything is hunky-dory in Juneau now. As you can see, 40% of the voters there, at least those who showed up to vote, have decided that, yes, there is an issue with overcrowding in cruise ships in Juneau. Now remember, the cruise lines in CLIA have gone to the city council and everything, and they've already set up limits going forward in 2025 and 2026. They've already cut back on how many cruise ships are allowed to be in port on a daily basis, plus even further restrictions on those allowed to be in on Saturdays. So they are trying to do their work and work with people. But remember, there's only so many stops in Alaska, and it is by far one of the most popular cruise destinations in the world. I mean, Princess Cruise Lines alone has 8 ships heading to Alaska next year. So chalk that up to everybody else wanting to go to Alaska. That's a lot of people. And of course, Juneau is a main city, is a main destination, one of the premier whale watching opportunity spots in the world. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there's still some work to be done in Juneau, but at least right now, that threat to the cruise livelihood of people who rely on the cruise ships has diminished at least a little bit for now. Also, if you're going to be sailing on Royal Caribbean coming up soon next month, you're going to be paying just a little bit more for your gratuities. That's right. Your gratuities are going up approximately 50 cents per person per day starting next month. That includes suites, balconies, inside cabins. Right now, a suite would be $20.50. I think it's going up to $21 a day. And then everybody else would be, say, $18, going up to $18.50. So a slight increase, but an increase nonetheless. Just thought you should know, Princess Cruise Lines did theirs way back in August. And so it seems to be the time where everyone's getting ready to increase gratuities for the staff. At least this one's not a huge jump. It's a 50-cent increase, not a $1 or $2 increase like we've seen in some cruise line cases in the past. And finally, we have a story about a family struggling to get the husband home, the father home, from an incident when they were on a 14-day European vacation. Well, before I get there, let me just quickly invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you want to keep up to date with everything going on in cruising, from the voting going on to ban cruise ships, from the possible dangers like this poor woman who was just assaulted, to the good things like the good cruise ships coming out, the new cruise ships coming out, the new destinations being announced. I'll try and keep you as best informed I can, and hopefully bring a smile to your face as well, even through some of the tougher stories like we just unfortunately covered. All right, and again, I really do appreciate it when you subscribe. It really tells the YouTube algorithm, hey, people like YouTube videos about cruising, and it just shares it to more people. That's how the algorithm works, and it really does help the channel out. Again, I really do appreciate it. All right, we have the story about Guy and Adrian Matlock, and they were on a 14-night European vacation where about celebrating their 37th wedding anniversary when Guy became ill. And at first they thought it was a flu of some kind, but it quickly worsened and worsened to the point where he had to be medically evacuated in Copenhagen. Now he's sort of stable, but he still is on medication and machines, and he needs to get back to the United States. Well, in order to get back to the United States, he needs to charter a flight from Copenhagen, which would be about 13 hours of flying. It needs to be with a nurse or a doctor or both. It needs to have certain medication stocked on board. It has to have certain machines on board. And the approximate cost for this would be about $150,000. Now, they do have some travel insurance. Not sure what travel insurance they brought. Not sure what travel insurance they had. But the bulk of that money apparently has to come out of pocket. Now, they have started a GoFundMe page. As of now, it's raised about $46,000, about 1/3 of the money needed to fly him home. And it kind of makes me wonder about the travel insurance that he has, because I have so many people who say, oh, I have my credit card travel insurance and it has evacuation insurance on it. And I said, oh, great. How much evacuation insurance does it have? And they say, well, it should cover everything, right? I said, well, double check. And they'll get back to me and said, oh, it has $5,000 evacuation insurance. I don't know about you, that would barely cost out an ambulance driving you from the cruise ship to the hospital if it was in a different city. So double check the insurance. Most insurance will be at least between $50,000 to $100,000 evacuation insurance. Most cruise medical evacuation insurance should be in the $500,000 range. And so, yeah, keep an eye on that. When you're looking for insurance, ask those questions, because as you can see, evacuation can cost a fortune. Now, in this case, they need a nurse and a doctor and a special flight and everything. That's why the cost is so high. But even so, even if it was only $40,000 and you had $5,000 in coverage, that means you're out $35,000. Yeah, Yeah, check your medical insurance, check your evacuation insurance. Don't just assume that it's covered. And the cruise lines probably have the better of the insurance because they're geared towards all this. Doesn't mean you can't ask and find out exactly what it covers. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.